Jimmy and Scott digging through the past. Crazy tales they uncover fast. History's stranger than you think. They'll also talk about wieners in a blink. They'll talk about wieners in a blink. Oddball history.
Boom, boom, boom.
How.
Welcome to this week's episode of Oddball History. My co-host Scott Crisp. I'm
Howdy.
Jimmy Nelson. Today we're covering American myths versus their realities.
Yeah, folklore, fact versus folktion.
Boom, boom, boom. we haven't decided on the title yet, but we're workshopping.
I thought
right
of
now.
that late last night, and
Okay.
I was like, I couldn't tell if I was delirious or if I liked it.
Oh, well, we'll see.
Folktion.
Find out on Monday.
Do you like the term folktion? Does it trouble you?
Yeah, Pulp Folktion. It's a good
I like
cover.
it.
Yeah. But we're doing like Johnny Appleseed. We all know him, the goofy guy in a tin hat that traipsed around the western frontier.
Spreading apple seeds.
Spreading apple seeds. Was actually a hero of American capitalism and imperialism because he was claiming land that whole time. That was not on accident.
Yeah.
Then we're doing Paul Bunyan, the giant lumberjack with his blue ox.
63 goddamn axe handles tall.
Wow, that's a tall man.
Stick around for this one. You're not going to want to miss it. This is a huge...
The real guy was probably like 6 foot 6'1", which was big back then. You know? He also had shark teeth, which we'll get into.
Yeah, it's very fun.
Yeah, hyperdontia. And then John Henry, the steel driving man.
Hell yeah.
What a fun, lighthearted story. Turns out it's a lot about racism in the South and a fella being mistreated.
Yeah. And, but also, again, they found a guy, like a real John Henry.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing. Like, that lines up with the stories, like, almost perfectly. Like, the tunnel that was, like, a little different, but same railroad.
Exactly.
Crazy.
Well, that was the one tunnel, the Lewis Tunnel, has the statue of him.
Yeah.
And all the new research is just like, it for sure wasn't that tunnel, but... tourism around old railroad tunnels can't be booming.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Let them have something.
Yeah, I don't think... Yeah, I think if you just claimed it at any tunnel, I don't think anyone would come
I don't think
knocking on your door.
The John Henry estate isn't
Yeah, I don't think
going to come down on you for that.
I don't think they're very litigious.
But yeah,
but I love these stories,
they're
man.
fun.
They're so much fun. I remember loving them as a kid. I enjoyed rereading them.
Yeah, the Steel Driving Man. I remember Disney made that like animated short of it in like the early 2000s. I remember that pretty vividly. But yeah, as always, before we get into the topic at hand, top comments.
Top comments of the week.
Let's see what AI joke has in store for you. Lumen 5, you're on notice.
Before we dive into the top comments, let's kick things off with a couple of jokes by me, Lumen 5. Why did Johnny Appleseed cross the road? To get to the other cider. Wow, really makes you think. What's the difference between Wolverine and Paul Bunyan? One's a huge Jackman, the other is a huge Axeman. Now get ready for some of the most unique and unexpected comments from history lovers, just like you. From quirky takes on ancient events to clever observations about famous figures, these top comments are sure to surprise and entertain. The dude abides.
Yeah, we had a lot of good top comments this week.
We did.
I enjoyed them.
I had a couple grouped together because Scott would not accept that being a furry was a gay thing. You had a much more broader view of it.
Yeah, the way I understood it, it's a lot of people are doing furry.
Which
it's
I feel like we're, as far as number of groups, there are many, but the one about butt pounding, boy, does it have a much higher membership.
Yeah, I could see that.
So this is about Charles Laurie Jr.
Charles Laurie Jr. He was a skin act, which sounds a lot worse than it is. An animal impersonator in the 1880s and 90s. It was an insane pursuit.
And on YouTube, we got the first furry.
Yeah,
it was a little dog picture,
which I really think he would be upset if about that. If he would be like, "That's what people," and he'd be like, "No, it was very different." And he'd be like, "Yeah, name one way you're different, Charles Laurie."
He was like, "No, it was about doing a good dog impression.
I was an actor.
I was effectively being a dog."
And you're like, "Are they not? They're effectively being dogs, though."
Yeah, just getting fucked by their friends as well.
They watch animals and mimic them too.
And then on Instagram, it was there's no way they weren't doing some real kinky stuff after those shows.
Yeah.
And then another guy goes, the OG furry. And then a guy goes, I need a time machine so I can save the world from furries.
Yeah. Then you got to kill Charles Lowry Jr.
Kill Charles, then Hitler. We all know the rules.
I did not think of that in studying Charles Lowry. I wasn't like, this is a guy I need to eliminate from the timeline.
Just the monkey actor. I did.
Yeah,
it was
just the guy dressed as a gibbon.
We got to get this guy out. Yeah. Well, all right. Who was that?
Was it a gibbon? It probably wasn't a gibbon because did they know what gibbons were?
Well, the alien bear on Instagram has called for violence against an actor. So let's send that to his job.
That's right. Yep.
We're getting Jimmy Kimmel. We're getting you too, alien bear.
The hottest
all right?
activity in America.
The hottest activity. It's funny how it turns.
Yeah.
I know we're purposefully not political on here, but
Yeah.
like one side does a thing and everyone yells, and then the other side goes like, "Hey, we're actually gonna do the same thing." It's very silly. Our next one is okay. Lindsay Velvet Spectre.
Shout out.
We did her "Hear Me Out" wrong.
Yes. It really only sunk into me what it was like yesterday.
Did
it
you
took me a while.
ask Celine about it?
No, I never did actually.
Okay. So Velvet Spectre, she goes, this was about the tilt-a-whirl guy falling in love with a large inanimate object.
Yeah, with a carnival ride.
Us being stupid logical men went, well, okay, what inanimate objects would you like to have sex with?
Yeah.
But a Hear Me Out is all-encompassing. And she goes, animated characters are a popular option for Hear Me Out takes. Wink Wink, King River, Deaf Fucks. Alan Tudyk's character from Star vs. the Forces of Evil.
Sure.
And then I need one of the young ladies in y'all's lives to explain to you what Hear Me Out is. Doesn't necessarily have to be an inanimate object. For instance, one of mine is Harry Dean Stanton's ghost. Which, pop up a picture of Harry Dean Stanton.
Yeah.
An unfortunate-looking man. One would have
But
to...
a legend.
But a legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of get it. There seems to be a lot of misunderstanding, I feel like, of Hear Me Out. It's like because I was so unclear on it. I looked up like a list of Hear Me Outs and I found a BuzzFeed list and I found it preposterous. I found it to be either they were insane or so obvious as to need no explanation. Number one on the list was Daphne from Scooby-Doo. That's not a Hear Me Out. Everyone wants to have sex with Daphne.
Yeah.
Everyone in the world.
Yeah.
Women and men.
Exactly.
This is not a Hear Me Out situation. She had some actresses just from like a horror movie in it. I was like, I don't think you get.
That's just a person.
This isn't. Yeah, that's just
a pretty lady.
That's just an actress.
Okay.
But then, well, it was like I think it was either a woman or a gay man.
Yeah.
And because the dude ones made a little more sense. Like a lot of them were like from Cars, you know.
Okay.
They had some. I
think that's a good Hear Me Out of a non-human character.
Yeah.
Like, I asked my wife, I guess this is a human character, and I sent her the screenshot of Lindsay's comments. And I said, does this make any sense to you? And she goes, I think so, LOL. And she goes, ooh, like the hot guy from Milan is a good Hear Me Out. So
I don't know the reference, but
there's a hot guy in Milan that a young Taylor, had some thoughts about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought like Dexter's Laboratory, the mom, unnecessarily proportioned.
Yeah.
But then as far as a
I
not
could see
human
that.
one, I think Lola Bunny is the most popular.
Yeah, I think we might have crossed over into territory after that whole kerfuffle over her not. I think like it's no longer a Hear Me Out because we've learned at least half of all men are like, I would give it all up. to have sex with that cartoon rabbit
That
one time.
questionably aged cartoon rabbit.
Yes.
That she's 22 for the sake of everything else we're about to say.
That's another thing about the BuzzFeed list. He had a Teen Titan on there.
Oh,
I was
maybe. Like, aren't they in middle
"Bud,
school?
they do not seem have grown.
We got the legal gray area of hentai porn. Like, Bart should not be doing that to Marge. That raises all sorts of questions.
That's right.
But Lola Bunny cracked me up
They got to get it out of here.
because they purposefully made her less sexy
They're like,
in the revamp of Space Jam 2. And there was like people online got upset about it.
yeah, people were so mad.
Space Jam 1, if you look at some of the pictures, you're like, Lola Bunny's fucking strutting around here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's so funny to imagine people just furious. That Lola Bunny
Lola Bunny wouldn't be a respectful, flat-chested lady if Harvey Weinstein was still running around Hollywood, you know?
Definitely not. Probably better he isn't still, but
Yeah, it's a loss we're willing to take.
it would be
for the
funny.
greater good.
It would be funny if like someone handcuffed themselves to the studio headquarters and demanded,
Just a creepy guy in an anime
"You're
t-shirt.
like, make Lola Bunny take off some clothes."
Oh, she was fucking hot. Make her hot again.
The security guy's like, "God damn it, Ron, you do this once every 3 weeks. I swear,
Yes. All right.
it's never gonna happen."
So
and
what-
honestly, this act is losing some of its meaning by
The boy
overuse.
who cried wolf. Yeah, come on. Which, God, I don't want to get into the cartoon of that with Ron.
Yeah. Oh man.
But yeah, so I guess Lola Bunny is the top hear me out for questionably aged rabbits.
Yeah, Lola. Yeah. That's it's a fun question. It's a hard one. I feel like it's like yeah, I don't know. The thing, like I said, they all seem either, and I guess this is just the nature of hear me outs, but they all seem either so obvious or disgusting and wrong. And how could you ever think of that, you filthy motherfucker? No.
Yeah, it's like, hear me out, Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, oh,
what a
yeah.
hero for...
Yes. Exactly.
like
that's how people are
one
living.
of the fairies from Fairly Odd Parents. Now that's a hear me out.
Yeah.
And then the next one was about the Toronto.
It's a good show.
It was one of my ones. The Toronto Clowners Fireman Riot.
Hell yeah.
This guy goes, "Why have I never heard of this? This is cheese cave energy. Like I should have known but didn't."
Yeah. And I didn't know about cheese caves.
I had to look it up too.
Yeah.
Cold War era American thing in Missouri. We have multiple old limestone quarries that are sealed off, and they're cool. And we store 1.4 billion pounds of cheese in them.
Yeah, it's no longer the government. It's now privately leased by all of our giant evil food giant companies
Yes.
like PepsiCo, Nestle, and Kraft Heinz. But the pictures of them are astounding.
It's a lot of cheese.
And it's so much cheese.
And it's questionable as to why still.
Yeah, well, they were buying like shitloads of milk. They were subsidizing like dairy farmers, so
Yeah.
they were buying shitloads of surplus milk, and then milk doesn't keep well, so they were making it into cheese a lot.
Yeah.
And that's where government cheese came in, like when they had the famous press conference with like a giant thing of cheese, and they're like, "We have like a ton of this shit just underground, by the way."
billion pounds of cheese buried in case of emergency.
Yeah, so they started giving it out for with food assistance programs. That's where government cheese.
Which that was just a fun thing to, in a comment, to have to Google.
Yeah, again, you gotta look up these cheese caves. They're they're fucking insane. They're
put some pictures in,
They
but
are astounding.
Just think of what 1.4 billion pounds of cheese looks like,
That's
and you're
so much.
probably right.
Do you think our French listeners had to pull their car over to the shoulder and fan themselves
Yeah.
upon hearing about all this cheese?
Yes.
I'm just kidding. They would probably be disgusted by the thought of that American cheese.
Oh, God.
If anything,
They'd
they
fire
pulled
'em
their
up.
pulled their car over to do their thing.
That's what
Right.
their French hear me outs are like. Wisconsin cheddar. It's not bad.
That's so
not
true.
bad.
That's so true.
Hear me out, guys.
grilled cheese with a slice of Kraft.
Ooh.
That's their hear me out.
We had a guy
Like, Jacques, how could you?
try to make mac and cheese with Kraft singles, and it just wouldn't melt.
What?
Like it really struggled to get gooey.
It retains its like sheet form.
Or then they have like the pre-shredded stuff. They put like anticoagulant powder on it. So you have to like rinse it before if you want to like make a queso or something.
Yes.
Or else it'll be gross. Yeah. All right. And then Lindsay again. I love a Troy Aikman comment.
Yeah.
About the Cowboys clip. And she just goes, Troy Aikman was a regular at my first kind of fancy restaurant gig. He was always so kind and such a gentleman. But he spoke and moved very, very slowly. Hope he's doing okay. Him and his mitts that are as big as my skull.
Yeah.
I fucking have, my dad and I talked about Troy Aikman's hands more than any two adults should have.
Well,
when
Troy Aikman's hands are something to be talked about, frankly.
When he put that pen, he holds a pen in his hand, and it just looks like a toothpick almost. The man's got mitts on him. Yeah,
my buddy went to the hospital in high school, and it was like I don't know what hospital it is, maybe Baylor, but the like orthopedics wing, whatever it is, they had like hands. Yeah. They had like molds of like all these famous hands of notable people around here. One of them was Pudge Rodriguez, and one of them was Aikman. And Aikman's were Paul Bunyan shit.
Pudge seems like you'd have regular ass hands, maybe stubby.
Yeah, Pudge has pretty normal hands. Yeah. But I mean, like they're perfect for what he did. Hosing motherfuckers down.
My dad passed away, and we always loved the Cowboys and Troy Aikman's hands. And I was Troy Aikman's body double in a commercial.
That's beautiful.
A silver car commercial.
A
company I don't know if it's still around. It was like a rental thing at the airport, but it was only silver Audis.
Okay.
Just a little, shocked it didn't stick around that long.
Yeah, that sounds like a business Tracy Jordan's son would start in 30 Rock.
Yes. But it was Troy Aikman and Judah Friedlander.
Oh, that's a good group.
Going down escalator together. And Troy's using silver car because he's fucking a G. And Judah Friedlander is all schlubby.
So he don't know about it.
He's doing your regular rental car. It was green. Which one's green? Hertz. They're not allowed to use the names, but it was clearly a shot at Hertz.
Yeah.
But
they're saying they'll know. They'll know what we're talking
And
about.
so I had to be his body double just for lighting.
Yeah.
Because it's cheaper to have me around than Troy.
Yeah.
And so I would go down the escalator like 50 times, and then they'd bring Troy in to do it like twice. And he left earlier than I did, and they needed to do another shot. And so I was Troy Aikman's hand in one of the shots. I'm holding a briefcase. Nice. Also, I had to wear his suit because I wasn't supposed to wear his clothes at all, so they didn't have like matching ones for me. He had broader shoulders than me and like 6 inches less on the waist. Damn. So they couldn't shoot me from the front because I just had the pants wide open. They had to like safety pin the pockets closed to squeeze in my fat ass into these pants. So I'll right here we'll have the video of my hand in that silver car commercial.
Silver car, no surprises. Always get the.
That's a fun day.
So hey, there you go. Me and Troy go way back.
My brother once worked on a Rent-A-Center commercial with Troy Aikman and Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
that was his brush with Aikman.
Brush with greatness.
Aikman and the Hulkster.
Yeah,
that's right.
Gotta love it. So that concludes our top comments.
Top comments of the week.
We have Blake commented again, but we're gonna do an episode he recommended next week or in 2 weeks. So, but yeah, the first guy, American folklore hero, we're gonna tackle is Johnny Appleseed.
Johnny Appleseed. I thought all these guys have songs, so what better way to introduce them than for me to sing each guy's song in its entirety at the beginning of their segment?
Okay.
No.
I wouldn't fucking do that. I'd say do it.
I really did hear a lot of songs about these guys this week.
Yeah.
The Johnny Appleseed one's really funny because it's not like the real guy was like, he was very much like close to like not the Disney folklore, but like the written folklore.
Yeah.
Like his appearance and everything seems to be pretty dead on with what he actually was. But the Disney he looks like Peter Pan.
Yes.
And he's singing about Jesus all the time.
Which he was a very Christian guy, spread the good word. And for all intents and purposes, was like a charitable man and like a good Christian of the time.
Yeah, he was supposed to be a good man.
Which
Nobody
kind
had
of wear the
good shit to say about him.
Yeah, wear like the tin hat, like the pot on his head. Is that he dressed much? He like dressed not like a pauper, but like dressed very casually for being a rich guy, because he wasn't like about ostentatious wealth and that.
Yeah, he. Well, I mean, it depends on what account you read, because in some, it's like he really was fucked up looking, like he is in the poem.
I'm saying he's not that he's not ugly, but
yeah, but he like dressed in rags and really did go around barefooted.
Yeah,
and according to one account, really did the mush pot on the head. But
really?
That's a lot of people are like,
Come on.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, that's.
But I mean, this one author met him late in life, Rosella Rice, and she said in 1863's History of Ashland County, Ohio, she said, his personal appearance was as singular as his character. He was a small, chunked man. Chunked. Quick and restless in his motions and conversation. His beard, though not long, was unshaven, and his hair was long and dark, and his eye black and sparkling. He lived the roughest life, and often slept in the woods. His clothing was mostly old, being generally given to him in exchange for apple trees. Who's making these deals? He went barefooted and often traveled miles through the snow in that way. He wore on his head a tin utensil, which answered both as a cap and a mush pot. So Rosella Rice is like, it's exactly like what they said. That's what she said.
Is Rosella trying to sell some books here?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, maybe.
But the real story of what he was doing with all these apple seeds is that part of the homesteading laws at the time of like the American expansion westward is that if you planted a certain number of trees and used it at like kind of like the ag exemption for taxes still.
Yeah.
But that you could claim that land as yours.
Yeah.
And so, you know,
yeah,
and
the
of course,
Ohio Company of Associates, it was called the donation tract, and they would give you 100 acres, and that's how you claimed your 100 acres, was you had to plant the 50 apple trees and 20 peach trees, was it?
And so he would go around, and he accumulated, it was like 1,200 acres or...
Yeah, he was really smart,
yeah.
and he was a lot more organized than in the stories. In the stories, he got his heart broken, filled up 2 canoes with apple seeds, went down the Ohio River, just spreading the fucking.
Who hadn't been there before, brother?
Yeah, exactly.
We've all had our heart broken.
Who among us?
But so he would go plant the seeds. He'd stay there for a few weeks, make sure shit was working, and then he would have a neighbor or work out a deal where they took care of it. And then he claimed that land, and then he would kind of move and do it again, and then check on other places he'd already done.
Yeah, he was like selling them in a line, like going down the line, starting orchards and flipping them.
Yeah,
which again, like he seems to have been driven not by money at all, because he just keeps wandering his entire life.
Yeah.
But these are not, again, another important thing to keep in mind with Johnny Appleseed is in the Disney version, of course, it's like apples for eating to keep
healthy.
a young
Apple
nation
a day,
healthy. These apples were not eating apples. These were called spitters. They were very sour and
bitter
used to
and
make
mushy, and they made hard cider.
Which apparently was fucking huge back then. This is at a point when hard cider, it's like apples were more likely to be used in hard cider if they were grown in America than just as apples. Henry David Thoreau once said, apples grown from seed, these apples, are sour enough to set a squirrel's teeth on edge and make a jay scream.
What's a jay?
Like a bird.
A blue jay, okay.
Yeah, any kind of jay.
Yeah,
I don't know if are there other jays?
Multiple jays.
Mocking
I thought it was
jay?
like a racial thing from back then.
Oh no! Well, maybe.
I've been reading too many of our Nazi clip. Like, not Henry David Thoreau, too.
No.
Leave him alone.
No, he's just talking apples.
Yeah.
He's just talking apples is all.
Which I like. His sect of Christianity was Swedenborgianism,
Yeah.
which sounds crazy, but was
Emanuel
actually like
Swedenborg.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was like laid back. It was like the Bible's not literal. That's stupid to think, but be cool to each other, dudes.
Be excellent to one another.
Yeah. And I thought that was nice.
I love it. Yeah, they that was a big part of the Johnny.
God damn it.
Oh
Got
my
it.
God. What a faux pas. That's going on the blooper reel.
You've made a fool of us both.
One time, no, it's a big part of the Johnny Appleseed story because most apples were grown by grafting back then. So
Yeah.
you could have the same kind of, so you would know what kind of apple you were getting. They would graft, they would put like part of one tree into like, they would wound a tree and then fill it with with a different tree.
Phil, come here.
And he did not believe in this because you had to wound a tree, and Swedenborgianism is like
Against wounding anything.
Yeah, do no harm to anything living. So he was against, and so he just planted all these apples from seed, which eventually helped our apple market by all the apples it created. No,
I think the dog. I think the dog barked. You messed. The papers fell.
No,
the dogs barked. I think you got in your own head there for a minute, Scott.
the apples. I'm talking apples. Eventually, because they were just grown straight and not grafted, it ended up we got more kinds of apples. I think that's what I was meaning to say.
Yeah.
We got more kinds of apples because he didn't graft these trees, and eventually they adapted, and they ended up being some of our best. The Golden Delicious is a Johnny Appleseed creation. Yeah. Did we ever say his real name was John Chapman?
I don't think we did.
His real name was John Chapman.
There we go.
It really doesn't matter, I guess. Anything you look up that's like John Chapman, it'll be like, see Johnny Appleseed,
But that's the story of Johnny Appleseed. And
Johnny
the man
Appleseed.
behind him.
He was basically he was the scary shovel man from Home Alone. He was like,
Okay.
the description of him. He was very much because he had a heart of gold too.
Yeah.
He was like he would have killed a burglar for a kid.
Yeah, that's the kind of guy.
I guess the guy didn't kill them. He just hit him with shovels.
he would get
tied
real
him
mad
up
at
or
the
whatever.
burglar.
He would hit him with a shovel.
But the next one we're doing is Paul Bunyan.
Paul motherfucking Bunyan.
Hit that song, Scott.
Well, 63 axe handles tall, Paul Bunyan.
Yeah,
Not originally. Originally, he was just like a 7 foot. He was a giant man, but still a man.
Yeah.
These are in campfire stories,
Yeah.
like logging camp stories.
Chuck Norris.
Yes.
He's the first Chuck Norris.
Yes.
And the name Paul Bunyan and like the character as we kind of know it is from a Red River Logging Company advertisement.
Yeah.
And so it was a very effective advertising that we all still listen to.
Yeah, and it's
So nailed it, guys.
Yeah, that guy William B. Laughhead really killed it. He wrote one pamphlet at first for Red River that was like pretty straight up like a regular like Paul Bunyan story, and it did not do well. And he came out with a second one, and I think it was like about Babe the Blue Ox or something, but it was a massive hit. And I think the second one was like when he started taking liberties, and he's like, yeah, he's a giant of a man. He's like bigger than the trees. He chops down all these trees and single swings.
What was it? And then him dragging his axe handle created the Grand Canyon. And
yes, he chopped down one version is he chopped down all the trees in Minnesota, and then when there were no more trees to chop down, he cried, and each of his tears made one of Minnesota's 10,000 lakes. And then beautiful. He trudged away dragging his axe, and his axe dragging away created the Mississippi River. And then the other one is he created the 10,000 Lakes with his footsteps, him and Babe.
That's the one I saw.
And then the Grand Canyon is his axe being dragged. The truth, probably somewhere in between.
Probably in the middle.
We'll never know. Some facts about Babe the Blue Ox, by the way.
Okay.
I read about him. Babe was bought as a calf in Canada, and Paul carried him in a sack across Lake Champlain so he wouldn't have to pay duty on it, which I appreciate.
I love just an author just creating backstory.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't.
And I love a giant who's like skirting duty law. You know,
like I'm a giant. My wallet's not giant.
I don't want to pay.
Fuck the government.
$10 for that.
Me bringing a cow here's none of your business, United States.
You sons of bitches. His eyes were 42 axe handles and a plug of tobacco apart. How about that? That's really far apart. That's a fucking huge mule head. He kicked a guy in the head once. This is a real story I read in the folklore. He kicked a guy in camp in the head once. His brain matter went all over the place. So their solution was they jammed it all back in his head, and the camp cook sealed it with biscuit dough. Saved his life. I thought it was funny that there's one where Babe fucking kicks a guy when his brains come out. Guy who took...
Dude, that is like a lighthearted child's thing about a funny lumberjack.
Yeah.
She's like, oh yeah, the Blue Ox that we all love.
Kicked a guy.
Murdered Steve.
Kicked a guy's brains were everywhere. But don't worry, our cook had plenty of biscuit dough. And then the guy who took care of Babe, again, this is canon. This is in the stories.
Yeah.
Brimstone Bill, he's an asshole, but they said that he didn't always, he was really good natured back in the day, but having to take care of Babe the Blue Ox made him a huge asshole. And it's really, there's one story where a young guy comes in and he's been to college and he comes into camp and starts working with him, and he tells him the story of Hercules and the Aegean stables.
Yeah.
And Brimstone Bill gets all mad and he's like, that's fuck you.
Yeah, of course. Why not?
That's what he says. He says, the fucking Aegeans, so you think I fucking give a care about the goddamn... Which I looked it up, the Aegean stables. It was, I think, 30,000 cattle or 3,000 cattle for 30 years had been shitting in these stables. So it was a lot of shit, but nothing compared to Babe.
Nothing.
According to Brimstone Bill, who was an asshole, but wasn't always.
Wasn't always an asshole. And so kind of obviously there was an author involved making shit up, and he kind of became like the Chuck Norris of all these tales get taller and taller and taller.
Yeah, the Bill Brasky, if you will.
Bill
if you
Brasky.
remember those
Bill
sketches.
Brasky's a son of a bitch.
To Bill Brasky. Me and my friends do that constantly as kids.
Bill Brasky had sex with my wife.
Yeah.
It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
To Brasky. It's like, it was a fun sketch.
There was one about, what was the one where he had like 100 hits of acid, and he like wakes up like a year later, and his first words are like, all in all, I prefer gin. But they just it was like a 10-minute fucking story. But
what was there was one about his dad telling him to take out the trash, and then he was like, and then he picked him up and dumped him on the curb. To Brasky.
To Brasky. This was it was kind of loosely based on this guy, Fabian Joe Fournier.
Yeah, a Québécois, lumberjack.
That's a very American feeling I have, is when you meet someone from Québécois, and they like don't speak English, and you're just like, you're a fucking white guy from Canada. Like, how is this? How have you gotten around for 30 years?
Yeah,
but it's very rare.
Because they don't leave.
So, according to historian D. Lawrence Rogers,
with that one.
I like that I knew. I felt it. I'm going to start reading the thing.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, Scott's spinning his wheels.
That's jazz, baby.
According to historian D. Lawrence Rogers, Fournier was a infamous brawler. An early reference to his life by Stuart H. Holbrook describes a legendary battle between him and Silverjack Driscoll, noting Fournier's signature move as the headbutt.
Was this the fight where the guy was they said that it was customary in these fights, these logger fights, to stomp on a guy's face with your spiked logging shoe. That was like a common ending to fights, because in this one fight with Fabian Fournier, he doesn't lose, or he loses, but the guy doesn't stomp on his face. He picks him up and buys him a drink, and it's like part of his lure. And I was like, the customary what now?
Yeah, you spike their face.
It really is the way it was described in the article. They were like the customary stomping of the spike onto the defeated guy's face.
There's so much of that like old rough and tumble shit where you're like, how this has to be exaggerated because all these people would just be dead or disfigured.
Yeah, how are we not just wiped out as a species?
Yeah, from all that head stomping we were doing?
We are a violent lot.
But he was. Yeah, they said he was said to be 6 feet or taller.
Yeah, which back then very good.
That's
back
good.
then very good.
Yeah.
Nobody was 6 feet back then. Girls would have to have different stuff on their Hinge profiles. It couldn't be like 6 foot and over.
Yeah, 5'10" would be what we lied about.
That's like
5'10". It ain't bad.
We'll call when there's a over 6 foot guy when the goddamn circus comes to town.
But
outside best you're doing is 5'8", a sturdy 5'8".
Yes, that's good.
Not bad. It could be worse.
Fabian kind of got popular because he was such a big, known for his strength. He fought everyone that he ever saw.
Yes.
He won 80% of them, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
And then he had a disease called hyperdontia.
Yes. This part was crazy.
He had double rows of teeth.
Yeah, double teeth.
Old double teeth Joe.
And he did that shit.
And he bit people, and he would bite axe handles.
He would bite wood. He would bite chunks out of wood with his double teeth.
Just all in all, very scary man.
Yes. And then he was bludgeoned to death one day by a guy
named Adolphus Blinky Robertson.
Oh, goddamn you, Adolphus Blinky Robertson.
He died at the docks by getting bashed with a mallet, and they said his brains were also everywhere. And so it kind of ties in nicely with
unfortunately, no biscuit dough. There's no biscuit dough in camp that night. There was not enough
biscuit dough that day to save old Fabian Fournier.
But they did save his skull. They reportedly, the skull was kept in Bay City, Michigan for many years, and then according to legend, did a time at the dental school, at University of Michigan in Ann Arbor.
Yep, now lost. I love, it's a recurring theme of just what's in the libraries of all these big colleges. the shit they've lost track of. I don't even know whose skull this is, but it looks scary.
Yeah. There's a hummingbird out the window.
Isn't that
it's
pretty?
Beautiful.
My wife's doing a lot of work with the landscaping in the front, and the flowers are going.
That's amazing.
All native plants, perennials, so you don't got to replant them every year.
That's beautiful.
It's coming together.
Was that Fabian Fournier, do you think? Did Fabian
Fournier visit us?
He was like, hello, boys. I see you're telling of my biting exploits.
I love that they're like old Fabian Joe, like his signature move, the headbutt.
The headbutt. Oh man, I bet his head was so hard.
But he had a noggin on him.
I bet it was like a Blanca headbutt.
Yeah.
Remember how you headbutted people with Blanca and Street Fighter, and you could like feel it through your controller how solid the headbutt was.
Oh yeah, it's a
I
big
bet
old
that's
head.
what Fabian was up to.
But,
what a badass. And then, what's funny? Did you see the part? The only one of the reasons that made people think he might not be an inspiration for Paul Bunyan is there's apparently one story where he appears alongside Paul Bunyan, which is also pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool to be in a Paul Bunyan story as a real man.
Yeah, hell yeah. So Fabian Joe Fournier, you're missed.
We love you. Both as lumberjack and hummingbird. You're beautiful both
you're
ways.
Beautiful man. And then the last one we're going to do is John Henry, the Steel Driving Man.
Hell yeah. Maybe my favorite of all these. John Henry, it's a great story. This dude showed up to the C&O Railroad and was like, hey, guess what? I am better than 9 of these shitheads at swinging a hammer. And the guy was like, you talk better than you swing. And John Henry was like, oh yeah, and then sure enough, he drove a spike clear into the rock.
I kind of forgot some of the facts of not facts of a story, but like the story itself. The overarching. But like he had a premonition that he was going to die driving steel, but he was like, but I gots to.
Yeah. Said, bury this hammer in my hand, motherfuckers. And the story I read, when he got that job, Tommy, his boss, Mr. Tommy, he got him to get 2 20-pound hammers. So he could swing 2 20-pound hammers, which is impressive, He was an absolute badass, One day, he gets the job, he's getting paid a bunch of money. There's all these different versions of the story. But one day, this man from a steam drill company comes by, and he's like, hey, I'd like to sell you this steam drill to Mr. Tommy. Mr. Tommy's like, no, I got John Henry though. And the guy's like, this thing is better than John Henry. I've heard of John Henry too, and he's great, but this thing's better. And Tommy's like, fuck that. And he's like, fuck you. And then they make a bet where they're going to race John Henry and the steam engine. If John Henry wins, Tommy gets $500, of which $100 will go to John Henry and the steam engine for free. If he loses, the guy has to buy a steam engine. But of course, John Henry wins. We all know the story. He won by 3 holes lengths. And then they look over. He's collapsed. His head is in the lap of his beloved wife, Polly Ann. And he dies. And he says, bury me with this hammer in my hand.
Yep. And part of the story was also like he was protecting the jobs from the machines coming in. And but in reality, they found John Henry at this time. And he was a 19-year-old that was in prison
from New Jersey.
From New Jersey, and he was 5'1".
5'1".
He was a tiny man, which they say for tunnel work is a mighty fine size.
Yeah, it's like
they're like, yeah, he's working in tunnels and shit. You need a little guy.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, the story's more, and it was kind of a, I don't want to break any news here, but in 1870s in America, the South wasn't nice to black people. I don't know if I'm...
Are you allowed to say that still?
I don't know. Okay. Cancel me if you got to. But
sound a little woke.
Because they put him in prison for 10 years for burglary, for like a nonviolent crime, which they were like, that's a long-ass time. Yeah. And it was kind of, they had a scheme of the leasing out prison labor to these railroad mining companies.
Yeah.
And so they kind of had a interest in having the prisons populated. And black people at the time were... still the prime candidates for a lot of that.
Yeah. And so, he was on they found a real John Henry who really worked on the C&O Railroad, a different tunnel than is popularly said. But again, the C&O Railroad, and a 19-year-old convict working on work detail, which really changes... It changes the story, It's a little different when John Henry's getting money and has a home with his wife.
And he's not a slave.
Yes.
Trying to defeat the machines from taking away the slave. Like, why are we going to pay for machines? We got all these slaves.
Yeah.
Why are we going to need machines?
And that he wasn't just doing it out of love for hammering.
The problematic part of the story is like the guy loved hammering.
The guy, he just loves working so much.
I love the premonition that he's gonna die driving steel, and he's just like, "But I'm a steel driving man."
Yeah, he sure fucking was.
Yeah. And then he also died of silicosis, they believe, which was a like black lung, essentially.
Yeah,
like a
inhaling
all the dust and shit. So.
Hey.
All right, where were we? John Henry.
We had
a preemptive dog situation there. There's a FedEx guy and a mailman walking around. I've been distracted the past few minutes.
Yeah.
Just snapping at her for growling, just like she's going to go off soon.
Yeah.
But situation's resolved, thank God. But
Jimmy gave away the dogs.
They're gone.
I told him not to.
And I was like, they got to go.
But he was like, too late.
Yep.
I already called the Cruella de Vil like woman over to take them.
Yes.
And I was like, Cruella de Vil like, that doesn't sound good. And he was like, frankly, I don't care, which I thought was cold, but they're his dogs.
Guys. Sorry, you got to find out this. I was going to not tell you, but I was going to try to take that secret to my grave. Did you have any closing thoughts on John Henry?
They're out back. Yes, I did. Hey, if you've ever wondered what Johnny Cash might have sounded like while having sex, look up The Legend of John Henry's Hammer. It begins with a hammer clanging and Johnny Cash going, ugh, ugh, ugh. With the hammer clangs, it's a little clearer that he's hammering. But it's sex sound. It's maybe my brain's been broken by growing up with the internet to some degree, but it's hard to read it any other way.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be in here too, folks. So.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash, and this is what I sound like when I'm boning.
The Johnny Cash you don't know.
The Johnny Cash so few of us have ever seen.
But yeah, those are the American folk heroes we wanted to cover. I thought they had interesting, like
we love
being
them.
Based on real guys.
Yeah, so such a lot of fun. Really fun to get into like who was a real guy and who wasn't.
Yeah, you look into it. Everyone brought up Pecos Bill with Paul Bunyan.
Yeah,
and Pecos Bill is strictly like just a made up guy raised by coyotes.
Yes, fake lore. I didn't know that was a term. Fake lore, but that's those are the kinds that don't have like any basis. In fact, which Pecos Bill, that makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
Doesn't he like rope the wind?
Yeah.
Didn't he?
What an ephemeral stoner thought.
Didn't he?
That was always my favorite stoner thought. Well, just like, where does wind come from?
Like, what is it?
The spinning is who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. One time, I saw a prisoner on Lockup Raw write a love poem to his lady, and it said that his love was like the wind. And I think about it all the time.
Let's see, we got a lot of shows coming up.
We do.
I'm doing September 24th. I'll be in Zany's Nashville. Check that out. That'll be fun. October 10th and 11th, I'll be featuring at Big Laugh Comedy Club with Randy Norman.
Hell yeah.
December 19th and 20th, I'll be headlining a full weekend at Rose City Comedy Club in Tyler, Texas.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. And then October 28th, I might be going to San Diego.
Oh, nice.
I'm still waiting to hear back about that. And then I'm doing a bunch of I produce Don't Tell shows around DFW, Fort Worth, Dallas, and Denton. So check out my website or just Don't Tell and check out those shows too.
Yeah. I'm on, I got a show, Prosper, Next Stop show. September 24th, and then may or may not be on shows that may or may not be happening on the 17th and 24th of October in Dallas. Those are the Don't Tell shows. Just look them up. I might be on those. I can't say.
I have
Fabian Fournier is back.
The Hummingbird is back. I do laugh about that. We're like, it's secret lineups, secret locations, and you're like, but you know. Fucking sometimes people like knowing who's on them.
Yeah.
It kind of seems nice.
Yeah.
But
it does.
Yeah, we got a lot of shows. And then Scott
They're
and
gonna be
I played flag football together.
That's right.
Doing the Lord's work.
That's right.
Scott's an athlete, and it showed. Mm-hmm. Didn't expect it. Not going to lie.
Yeah, I'm coordinated.
He's coordinated. He was the best quarterback there that day.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
I would go that far.
I threw a pretty egregious pick.
Yes, he did. It's, hey, you're playing ball with the boys.
It was one of those. It was one of those that was in the defender's numbers. I was like, what was I thinking?
I was like, I'm a fool.
What was I thinking? It was a good time though.
One of my brothers is handicapped and he plays in Special Olympics. So we were twice a year we scrimmage their like flag football team to help them practice for the state tournament. And they got some funny guys. I love Royce, their fast guy.
Yes.
He shakes a little, and then he'll say the route he's gonna run. And I'm doing a deep post. I'm doing a deep post, and you got to really coach him to be like, don't tell him.
Yeah.
That's a secret.
Yep.
Make him defend it.
Yeah, he was making plays though.
He was making plays
outside.
Another comedian, Paxton Bailey, came out and played with us.
Yeah, shout out Dingbat District.
Dingbat District Pod. Scott's been on.
Yeah,
I've been on too. And then my brother Jay was there too.
Oh hell yeah!
Which my mom took a video. My mom was like talking shit too because I had a very bad drop. It was going to be a touchdown. I was wide open. I jumped up and just batted it down almost, as if my hands were just bricks, just whacking. And my mom was like, "No, he's got skillet for hands." I'm like, "Fuck you, old lady." You know?
Damn,
I don't need to hear
she
that.
got you.
She got me. But we had I threw
Skillet
a
hands.
pass to one brother, and the other brother made the tackle. Nice little family moment.
Hell yeah.
But yeah,
Oh, that was beautiful. And skillet hands reminds me of, I forgot, Paul Bunyan's skillet was so big. I loved this part that it had, they had to grease it with 6 men with slabs of bacon on their feet,
skates.
skating around the thing. That was fun.
That was nice.
That was a good time. Oh man, skillet hands. Brutal. Devastating.
I haven't written a lot of new comedy stuff lately, but I've had wrote the note down of playing with toys with my son Owen, and you catch yourself playing with the toys.
Yeah, I can get that.
We were like Legos and forts and shit, and he's not quite old enough to really consciously build something.
Yeah.
But I found myself 30 minutes later, it made a pretty sick fort.
Nice.
I don't think I'm doing this for him.
Yeah, this is all for me.
We're both sitting in the living room doing our own things right now. Yeah, Owen and Dad are going to go play for an hour.
That's a good time.
It was fun. It's fun.
That's a good time. And it's good. Good for I think that's good for creativity, doing something like building a Lego thing or coloring or something.
Semi-monotonous, simple enough, but...
It's like why you have good ideas while driving or showering.
Yeah.
Your mind's kind of occupied. It's kind of meditative.
I like it.
Dig it.
You got anything going on, Scott?
I saw this week an article in the Metro section of an old Dallas Morning News. It's like an old paper, but it's been sitting in the apartment for a long time. And I saw the headline. It said, "Want to help the gorillas? Dallas Zoo invites public to donate old tech." And I didn't read the article. I just set it down. I went about my day. And then I kept thinking about the article.
What tech
I was
did
like,
they
wait
need?
a minute. Why?
How old
This
was
sounds
this?
like a bad idea. Are we trying to make Planet of the Apes
Yes.
a reality?
The gorillas like Walkmans.
Giving them old tablets and iPhones. And then, so finally, I had to go dig the paper out and read what it was actually about. Of course, I was mistaken. They're not giving gorillas iPhones and iPads to play with. They're recycling them because they're for their coltan. It's a mineral that's used in electronics and mined from areas where lots of gorillas live. Makes a lot more sense and good in terms of not ushering in an ape takeover. And yet, at the end of all of it, I found myself a little disappointed that the monkeys weren't getting
We're getting tablets.
phones and tablets. Like that would be a really funny bit.
So they're collecting the rare earth minerals to sell.
Yeah, to lessen demand for coltan. They're making
to help
sure
the other
that they
gorillas
can,
not at the
so they
zoo.
don't have to mine so much coltan and,
I like
and
it.
ruin
There we go.
But wouldn't that be fun? One of the gorillas at the zoo is addicted to prize picks. I think that would be really.
They got to turn. He's really upset because they put a parental lock on the credit card associated to the phone.
Yeah,
He's like, you spent $6,000 on Candy Crush.
He spends all his time just asking visitors to Venmo him.
Hey, my Cash App. Hit my Cash App.
Oh, another fun thing. I was watching the other day on YouTube. I stumbled on a mix of presidential campaign songs. Very fun. Most of them were just like the John Brinkley song, like the "Here's the Man." It was like a version of
John Brinkley.
"Here's the Man," Calvin Coolidge. It's stuff like that. Actually, Calvin Coolidge's was all about how Charles Lindbergh liked him. If he's good enough for Lindy, he's good enough for me. That was a song. But then it gets to Taft. His song was "Get on the Raft with Taft." Well, this is a horrible idea for us.
You can tell the cultural slide of America start around this time. Where
Yes.
it's like, we just make it rhyme.
Why would you put it in those terms? The flimsiest vehicle. He could be a great leader and a great man. And a raft, though?
Don't be daft. Vote for Taft.
Look at that.
It's right
Improved
there.
upon it.
It's
right
right
there.
there.
Yeah, but instead they were like, hey, get on the rickety roller coaster at a carnival outside a Fiesta supermarket with Taft. And you're like, you know what?
I don't think that sounds like a good idea.
I don't think that sounds safe at all.
No. That's
But
funny.
good times. I also learned this week, ancient Rome in the gladiator times, one of their favorite comedy routines, their who's on first, if you will,
Yes.
was they would do a retelling of the story of Orpheus and Eurydice. And Orpheus,
Who doesn't know it?
he's the musician, and he could play the flute or whatever so well that it soothed all animals and humans, and even, like God, whoever. He would soothe them with
Yeah.
his song. But so they would have a guy dressed as Orpheus, and he would be in a net, so he couldn't really fight back so much, and he would be playing his flute or whatever he would play. And he would come out, and then they would release a bunch of non-violent animals into the arena, and they would all be running around, and it would be like, it's like he's taming them with his song. And then they would release a bear, and the bear would fucking kill the guy, and everyone's like, because he's Eurydice, because he's Orpheus, he should have been able to charm the bear, but he couldn't.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Hilarious.
That's so funny.
You always wonder what that looked like. Because the actor's not going to be, does he think the bear's not going to happen? Or is he in on it and it's like a prisoner?
Yeah, how do you commit?
And he's just very bummed. Like, I don't want to pretend to do the fucking flute thing.
They're like, you play the flute. Like, yeah. How do you get him to do that? Like, you're going to get killed by, I would not participate. I would not be committed to the bit.
No, not at all. But that's awesome.
You do not get your laugh today.
Yeah.
I mean, you still do. I'm still going to get attacked by a bear. But you don't get the sweet irony of me being Orpheus while I do it.
Yes, it's just me getting attacked by a bear. You got any shows coming up? We just did mine.
I have that
Use
next
the Prosper.
stop. Yeah, next stop in Prosper next week, and then the I can't talk about them.
17th and
24th of October.
October 17th, 24th. Come see
They're
Scott
in Dallas. Yeah, that's right.
So, any closing thoughts?
No, I saw that movie Smile last night. You ever see it?
The old one? I thought they came out with a
fucked up.
Smile too.
I'm sure they have.
I think they have.
I watched the first one last
Smile's
night.
good. I wanted to see Long Walk.
I don't think I've heard it.
Or what's the new
Heard of
Leonardo DiCaprio one coming out? It's only in theaters
I
September
think
26th.
that might be right.
It's not Long Walk. It's a different one. But I think I'm going to be selfish on my birthday, and while my wife's at the office and my son's at daycare, I'm going to go watch a movie by myself.
Hell yeah. That sounds
nice.
fun. That's very Don Draper of
Yes.
you. Remember how often he did that? And he was really a happy man.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah, there's no underlying sadness.
Yeah. He was. That's a man you want to emulate in every way.
So, old Big Dick Don.
Yep.
But with that, we bring this episode to a close.
Yeah.
Thank you as always.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Subscribe.
Follow us on Instagram. Drop us a line. Tell us where you're listening from.
Yeah,
I
for
heard
sure.
that on a thing, and I was like, oh, we got to fucking do
We
that
gotta
shit.
do that. But I think Scott and I are going to try to do like co-headlining shows out and about. So if there's a comedy club near you and you're a fan of the show, hit us up and let us know, and we'll try to reach out to them.
Yeah.
But with that, as always, hail Satan.
We love you.
Indian Scott digging through the past. Crazy tales they uncover fast. History stranger than you think. They'll also talk about wieners in a blink. They'll talk about wieners in a blink. Oddball history.